Do you guys have a lot of off-road lighting and accessories mounted onto your Tacoma? If you do, then you should definitely invest in a switch panel. In this video, we're going to show you guys Yota Xpedition's solution to mount any switch panel cleanly and easily. Let's go ahead, pop the hood, and get into it. So right here on the table, we have the auxiliary power bracket for the 3rd gen Tacoma. This is a 2-piece design. It's made from aluminum and powder coated in a nice satin black finish. This kit is also going to include all the hardware you need to get this thing installed. And this is the universal bracket. So it has no holes on it. It's a free blank slate. Depending on what you guys are trying to mount, you guys can lay it out, drill your holes, and get it mounted accordingly. Now, in the past, we have installed other brands' kits just like this on our Tacoma and 4Runner, and we had problems doing that. So we took the time to redesign everything, making it as easy as possible for you guys. So with that being said, let's go ahead and take a look at the tools you're gonna need to get this installed. So right here, we have a 1/4-inch ratchet, we have a 3/8 ratchet, we have a long extension, we have a 10 and a 13mm socket, a swivel, and a 5mm Allen wrench. And then when it comes to installing this bracket, it's gonna be pretty easy, but you do need to drill your own holes to mount all of your accessories onto it. So for that, we're gonna give it a level 2. Some average mechanical skills is gonna be needed to get this installed. So when you pop the hood on your Tacoma, there are 2 main places where you can mount an auxiliary power kit. One is gonna be right here, and then the other place would be over there on the passenger side behind the air box. The reason we have our kit mount right here is because it's very close to the battery, and when it comes to wiring in your switch panel, it's gonna be very easy. So when it comes to mounting in our bracket, we're gonna make it really easy by using these 2 holes right here on your inner fender, and then down the side of your wheel well, there's gonna be a 10mm bolt. We're gonna remove that, and that's where that longer bracket's gonna go down and attach. So the first thing I'm gonna do is take my 1/4-inch ratchet with a 10mm socket. I'm gonna reach down and loosen up, remove that 10mm bolt, and we'll go from there. All right, so that 10mm bolt that we just removed, if you look at it, you'll take notice one of the holes is for the bolt that you just removed, and the other one is for a hook that goes into another hole on the fender well. So that's why on our bracket we have 2 holes here. One is for the bolt to go through, and the other hole is for that hook to go into as well. So we're gonna take this bracket, we're gonna drop it down in between the fender well and that bracket that we just took the bolt out of, so that the bracket is on this side and the fender well is on this side. We're gonna get that hook into this hole and that bolt back into this hole. We do supply a new bolt if you wanna use that, or if the OEM one that you took out works, that's fine as well. All right, we got the bracket in position. We're gonna go ahead and put that bolt in. And you also wanna make sure that the threaded section on this bracket is gonna be facing towards the driver's side. So we got that bolt started. We did not tighten it. We wanna make sure that this thing does have some wiggle room up and down. So we're gonna take our second piece of our bracket. We're gonna get that put in place. But first we're gonna get our 2 bolts finger tight here into these holes, and then we'll get the rest of the bracket installed. So we have the 2 M8 bolts that we supply in the kit. We're gonna go ahead and just thread these in, just a few threads so that they don't fall out. So now that we have those 2 bolts just started, we're gonna take the second part of our bracket, and you can see there is a bigger hole with a slot. The head of the bolt is gonna go in there on both of those, and then we'll slide the bracket. You want to make sure that both the bolt head and the washer get through here and are behind this surface. So we got both of those bolts through the upper piece of the bracket, and then we slid it back as far as we can. You can only go so far before it hits this plug here on your master cylinder. So now that we have it back, we're gonna reach under there, we're gonna get those as tight as we can, get in there with either a 13mm wrench or a socket and ratchet, and get those tightened down. So we have a 3/8 ratchet, we have a long extension, we have a swivel, and we have a 13mm socket. So this will allow us to reach in there and get these bolts snug down. All right, we got those 2 bolts snugged up. Now we're gonna take the small Allen bolt with the washer that is included in the kit, and we're gonna put that through the upper bracket, threading into the lower bracket. And once we get this started, we can make sure that everything is properly mounted and level. Like I said, we do have movement up and down. We can get everything where we want it and tighten it all down. So we're gonna tighten this up with a 5mm Allen wrench. And then we can go back down to the bottom of this bracket and tighten that up as well. All right, guys, there you have it. The auxiliary power bracket is now mounted really sturdy in there on your Tacoma. Now you have a nice platform to mount all of your accessories. I would just lay everything out and drill your holes with this out of the truck first and then install it. But if you guys have any questions about this bracket, make sure to ask us down below in the comments. If you want to pick one of these up, make sure to head over to yotaxpedition.com, and we'll see you guys in the next one.